Hey everyone, it's Dave, and it's time for a quick tip. Today I'm going to be talking about something that honestly needs to be its own course and study, but we're going to cover just a little pinch of it to maybe help you out in a pinch. And so we're going to be talking about creative block and how to kind of get through it. Creative block is something that happens to virtually every artist at some point. It's when you want to make something, but you're not sure how to get on track, and your mind is drawing a blank, and you start to seize up, and you start to panic, and you realize you haven't paid your credit card bill, and your girlfriend left you, and that sandwich you wanted so bad is no longer being sold. It's a dark Wednesday. Creative block is just when you can't figure out how to get to the next step. So here's a little trick that I do sometimes, and I think it might help you too. So I'm using Photoshop and a XP Pen Artist 22 Pro, and honestly, this works on almost any software and really with any drawing tablet. Truth be told, you could do it with a piece of charcoal and a piece of paper as well. The exercise here is not founded in the software or the medium that I've chosen. It's here. So follow along and apply it to whatever medium you choose. So in Photoshop terms here, I'm using a wide chalk brush. So it's got like a lot of texture, and I'm setting it to multiply. So as I brush over it, it'll build up the value. It'll go darker and darker and more saturated as I scribble over it. And that's just to kind of simulate if I was going over an area with a piece of charcoal or a pencil or something, it would kind of get that little bit of that build up. So we're gonna use that. And I'm keeping it rather wide. So as you can see here, it's a pretty big brush, and we'll probably adjust it a little bit here and there as we paint. But one thing I want to start off first is I'm going to tone my background. Now, if this was me drawing on paper, I would likely have started with a toned paper, but of course you can tone your own if you like. And this just kind of gives a value to it. So if I need to go white at some point, I can always go brighter. But if I need to go dark, I can still go darker. So I only have this at around 80% white, so it's only about 20% black. So that gives it plenty of room to wiggle. So I'm going to increase the saturation on this here. Go back to brush. And there we are. So, and this is on a separate layer just in case I need to like erase the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is scribble. No, seriously, I'm going to scribble. I'm not only going to scribble, I'm going to scribble indiscriminately. And I have no idea what's going to happen here. I am blanking my mind, trying to simulate creative block as best I can. Because it sucks being blocked creatively because you don't know what to do. And right now, I literally don't know what to do. It's just not painting me. I'm going to have fun. I'm hanging out with you guys. So I'm just going to start to scribble in brush strokes. The only thing I'm really doing right now is I'm just brushing in what feels good. Not necessarily in any design idea whatsoever. This could be anything. It's just whatever kind of feels good. Now, as you're scribbling these things out, you might start to see some shapes that look like something. Now, there's some pretty obvious design elements here. There's like this H pattern for you overseas people. And there's a weird bit of symmetry, really, now that I look at it. There's kind of like a line here which divides the top from the bottom. That was completely unintentional. And it almost looks a bit like a reflection or a shadow, maybe coming off of some hills. I think we might have uncovered something. So I'm going to go back to this. And I'm going to continue to kind of go off of that idea. Now, what you might be seeing me do here is I just pulled a mountain range out of thin air. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. What's cool about this is that this is a technique I'm sure you've actually done a ton of times before. You ever lay on your back and look at the clouds, or like while you're driving or while someone else is driving? Don't you do it while you're driving? You see a cloud or something like that, and you just kind of like say, hey, that looks like, a duck or whatever. It's the same thing. You're just, instead of waiting for a cloud to come by, you're making your own clouds. And so I'm just going to pull, and again, I'm still in the multiply mode, and I'm just going to, and then I'm going to switch over to normal. And then I'm just going to start to try to like build around these values that are in here, and to kind of maybe build out my canyon. Maybe we'll add other side of like a hill here. I don't know. And maybe this doesn't work too well for us right here. Maybe we need to create a much more open pocket of land right here. And again, I'm not going off of any preconceived notion of what this should be. We're learning about this together. But there you go. Now I've got this little chunkaroo here of a mountain range, and that might give me something to work off of. Now I just got to kind of like see it for what it could be instead of what it was. But I could build a mountain range just from right there. Okay, let's try it again. And this time we'll go with a green color. There we go. All right. And instead of that last little H pattern, I'm going to try to at least not do that. What I'm going to get, I don't know. So last time I went with kind of like a U shape, H shape. Maybe I'll go something more circular. Oh, forgot to put it back on a multiply. Yeah. And there we go. And I'm just making little circular shapes. And I'm filling it out as I go. Now the color is completely irrelevant. In fact, normally I wouldn't do this with any color. I would do this in a grayscale. So don't get hung up on whatever color it is here, but this is for the creative exercise, just to get something going. And well, I mean, so again, by chance and by accident, I've kind of created this little shape here. It kind of looks like a little frog thing, or like a bush, maybe? I don't know. And these scribbles just kind of came out of nowhere. I just kind of started painting around shapes, painting up into shapes. And you can hear how, you might be able to hear the clicky clackies of my pen. I'm not sure if you can or not. But I could do that. And then now you say, well, Dave, what happens when it starts getting too dark? Okay. Start pulling and color selecting some of your lightest values. Start pulling those out. Yeah, this definitely has like a frog vibe. Maybe the green got me thinking green. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know what frogs really look like, so we're gonna go kind of cartoony. Which is not something you see me do too often. But yeah, I could build a frog out of that, I'm sure. Some sort of frog-like creature. Do you see it? I see it. So I'm just going to scribble them in real fast. There you go. I found a frog in here. It's kind of fun. Maybe I'll, just for the fun of it, I'll go over to the yellows. Do this real desaturated yellow and just kind of give them a highlight. That's kind of fun. Found a little frog man in there. Hey, we found a frog. And it really is that simple. And that's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to kind of like push and pull the values around till you can kind of see the shapes that emerge naturally. Again, like you'd see in the clouds. None of this is to be taken all that seriously, and none of it is really intended for it to be something that you would hold on to and necessarily cherish. But what you should cherish is the ability to see into randomness and shapes and pull something out of the void and find something fun out of it. And who knows, you might find something you really do like and something you really do want to keep. I really hope you do. Anyway, this is a quick tip. I hope you guys find some fun in that. We'll try another one again later, maybe dig a little deeper into this idea. So have fun, enjoy your painting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.